Hello everyone, today we're going to talk about a topic that is extremely relevant to our lives today, media bias. It's an issue that affects the information we consume and how we perceive the world around us. Media bias refers to the slant or angle that a news source presents information. It can be political, cultural, or ideological in nature. In other words, media bias occurs when news organizations present information in a way that is skewed towards their own beliefs and opinions, rather than presenting a neutral and balanced view of events. Let's take a look at a few examples of media bias. For instance, consider two different news outlets reporting on a political event. One may present a positive view of the event, highlighting the positive outcomes, while the other may present a negative view, focusing on the criticisms and shortcomings. This is an example of political bias. Similarly, cultural bias can also be seen in the media, for example, when news organizations present information in a way that perpetuates stereotypes or reinforces cultural norms. For instance, consider a news story about a particular community or ethnic group. The way the story is presented can either reinforce positive or negative stereotypes about that group, depending on the bias of the news source. The impact of media bias can be far-reaching and significant. It shapes our perceptions and opinions about the world around us, influencing our beliefs and attitudes. If we are only exposed to one particular perspective or point of view, it can limit our understanding of the world and lead to a narrow view of events and issues. Moreover, media bias can also impact the political process. For example, when news organizations present information in a way that is biased towards a particular political party, it can influence the opinions and voting decisions of the public. This can have serious consequences for the democratic process, as it undermines the principle of a fair and impartial media. So, how can we recognize media bias? It's important to be aware of the sources of information we consume and to question their perspectives and motives. Here are a few tips to help you recognize media bias. Check multiple sources. Always seek out information from multiple sources and compare the way different news organizations present information on the same event or issue. Look for evidence. Check for evidence and facts to support the information being presented, and question information that seems vague or unsupported. Consider the source. Consider the political or ideological leanings of the news organization, as well as any commercial interests or affiliations. In conclusion, media bias is an important issue that affects the information we consume and our perceptions of the world. By being aware of the sources of information we consume and recognizing media bias, we can make informed decisions and have a broader understanding of the world around us. Thank you for listening. I hope this has been a helpful introduction to the topic of media bias. Remember to always be critical of the information you consume and to seek out a range of perspectives to broaden your understanding of the world.